Coming in hot. Coming in hot.
Everyone, and welcome to today's tutorial. We have been given a standing cylinder being penetrated by another cylinder. The standing cylinder has a diameter of 60 mm and a height of 80 mm, and the cylinder that's penetrating to has a diameter of 40 mm and a height of 50 mm. So let's quickly draw the front elevation and the plan, then we develop it when we are done. I'm going to begin by first drawing a center line through. Bring it here. That's my center line. Then I'm going to draw the first circle. I'll start with the plan and I'll move on to the front elevation. Let me extend this. So I'm going to mark here as well. I'll be drawing a circle. I'm going to measure the diameter of the first one. Sorry, the radius 60. So I'll pick a distance of 30. Right, so that's 30. Let me stand here and draw a circle. Yeah, that's better. Next, I'm going to project this circle to the front elevation. Project this one too. Now draw a line. Now the height of the cylinder that's been penetrated is 80 millimeters. I'm going to measure 80. That's my 80. Now draw. I'm taking this one too. Now I need to get the midpoint for me to draw the center line through. So we have 4 here. I'm going to draw a center line through. So we have this standing cylinder, for this being the front elevation and this being the plan. We are going to draw the cylinder that is going to penetrate. That is going to penetrate here. Now it has a diameter of 40. I'm going to measure 20 here from this center point. Now draw a horizontal line. Another horizontal line. Now that cylinder has a height of 50. I'm going to measure out 50 and I'll mark. I'll just draw a vertical line. Now drawing the same things for the plan, I'm going to project this one down. Then we draw the center line for this circle too. Right. You measure 22 on both sides. They will draw a line to touch it. Sorry. Well, I measured 30 here. So it's supposed to be here. 2020. So this is 2020, so this one is supposed to be there. It's rather this one. And that should give us 40. Yes, exactly 40. So now you have successfully drawn the front view and the plan of the diagram we are given. Now we need to further develop it and draw the developed surface in addition. So before we start with the development, I'm going to draw a semicircle here and another one to here. And that will aid us to get the point you use to plot to get this side, because you know it's definitely penetrating, so there's going to be an arc here. I'm going to pick the radius for this one, which is 20. And stand here and draw a semicircle. Next, I'm going to divide this into 6 parts since it's a semicircle. 6 parts. So we have one here, one here, one here, then another one here. Going to join them. And then finally this one. Right, so let's number it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. If we had drawn a full circle, then I've continued 8, 9 up to 12. We are going to draw the same thing over here, but you have to be very careful of the numbering. So this is the semicircle. Right, I'm going to divide this into 6 parts. This one goes here. Now, let's take note of the numbering. This is what you are seeing for the front view, right? So if you have to flip it for us to see, this is what you are seeing for the plan. So if you have to flip it for us to see the front view, we realize 1 and 7 will now be this way. If 1 and 7 is here, then 2 will be here, 3 will be here, and 4. 4 will also be at this side. Then 5, then 6. Right, so this is what we have. Next, we are going to project these lines for it to touch this circle over here. So let's start with the projection. But before we do that, we know 2 and 6 lie on the same plane. 3 and 5 to lie on the same plane. So you can just project 2 and 3, and it will automatically be for also 6 and 5. So I'm going to do for 2 and 3 only. Then 3. Right. Now we are going to do the same thing too for this one. So we are going to project the lines. I think this one is too faint. I think it's a bit clear. Next, we are going to project these lines to the top for it to meet these ones. So where this line meets with the circle, it goes up. So at this point, it's going to go up. It's going to go up at this point. At this point, it is going to go up. Then at this point too, it will go up. Then finally we have this which is this one. Now let's mark up the points. Now let's see. 1 is going this way and it goes here. 1 coincides here. So you're going to mark this point. Let me use this pencil. You're going to mark this point. 1 intersecting with 1. Now you're moving on to 2. 2 is going this way and it's going up. And it's intersecting with 2 over here. So this 2 here. But we know 2 and 6 are on the same plane. So it's also going to intersect with 6. 6 is over here. You mark. Next, 3 is going this way. And 3 and 5 move together. So 3 going this way. Intersect with 3 over here. And also intersect with 5 over here. Then finally, 4 is going this way. It intersects with 4 over here and 4 over here also. Now we have the curve, so we join with the smooth freehand curve. Let me deepen it. So we have this to be the curve we are going to get on the front elevation. Now we are done with the plan and the front elevation. What we are left to do is to develop the two parts separately. Now let's label them. Let's name this standing cylinder as part A. I'm going to name this cylinder that's intersecting 2 as part B. Let me deepen this since it's the main. Alright, so now you're going to develop cylinder A and cylinder B at this point, I think, yeah. So let's start. Now with the development, let's start. I'm going to project this line. Just continue off with it. We're going to continue off with this one too. Then I'll draw a vertical line here to show where it's going to start from. Right. Now with the development, depending on where we are cutting from, if we cut from here on this plane, right, the circle is going to be at the corners of it because we are opening it up. So the hole will go to the far left and the far right. But if we decide to cut through this point and we are opening it up, this circle here or this hole here is going to be at the middle. So now the development is dependent on where you decide to cut. Now in a question, if we are not given the plane where you're cutting, then you can choose to use whichever one you deem fit to use. But then if you are given a particular plane to cut along, then that's what you have to use. Now in our case, we haven't given any particular plane to cut along, so I'm going to assume we are cutting along this plane, so meaning the circle is going to be at the center because you are opening it up. Now for the length of this length is going to be the circumference of this circle because you are opening it up. And the formula for circumference is pi d. The d over here is 60, so 60 times pi is 188.5. So I'm going to measure 188.5 over here. Yeah, so that's it. So I'll draw a vertical line through that point. So we have this to be our circumference, and this is where we are going to develop it. Now we have to divide this into 12 parts. So I'm going to draw any acute angle at all. I'll do it up here. I think it's too faint. Let me take it. Yes, I'm going to pick my compass. I'm going to mark out 12 equal divisions. 1. Let me see. We have 1, 2, 3. Okay, last one. So I'm going to join the last point to this. Right. So the rest I'm going to do is to draw parallel lines along it. I'm going to position this here, just along the tip. It's along the tip. I'll support it with the ruler. Then I'll move to the next one. And I'll draw the next one. So we have these points be the divisions. Alright, before we start developing it, let's take a close look at something. Now this 4 here is intersecting with this one. So meaning if you are to open it up in this direction, this 4 is going to be the center, right? So where's our center? So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here will be our point 4. Next, let's project these lines to this part. So from here, we have this green here. I think it's too faint. This green here, that's better. 5 is also green. 6 is also green. 7 is also green. 2 is also green. 3 is also green. Green. Alright, so next, I'm going to draw a vertical line here at the point 4. Next, we have this 4 here to be a reference in the same thing over here. Now, we have this 4 line here. We want to get to 5. I'm going to stand at this point here and pick the distance to 5. Then you come here. Let me use this one. So 5 here, pick the distance to 4. Yeah. It's on this line, right? So then this line, you inscribe an arc. Also inscribe an arc here. Or let's do it up here, then we draw vertical lines. So let's do it up here rather. It's still the same thing. So we have this one here and this one here. So now these 2 points becomes our point 3 and 5 from here. 3 and 5. We have 3 here. We have 5 here. Next, I'm going to stand here and pick 6. Stand here and pick 6. Then stand at 4 and pick 6. So this becomes our point 2 and our point 6. Next, I'm going to stand here and pick 7 and 1. Stand here, open to 7. Stand at 4. Inscribe an arc. Inscribe an arc. So we have that to be our point 1 and point 7. Next, I'm going to draw vertical lines through. So we have this one. We have these 2. And this one. Same thing too for the other side. Alright, so let's start marking. So now 4 is both here and here. So in corresponding is both, let me use the expression, is both here and here. 5 is here and 3. So 5 here and 3. Same thing 2 here and there. Now 6 and 2. So we have 2 here. We have 6 here. Same way 2 here and 6 here. Then 1 and 7. 1 and 7 is over here. 1 and 7 is over here. I'm going to join with a smooth curve. So let me deepen it out. Right. So you have this to be the development. I'm going to deepen this line. This one too. Alright, so you are done with the development of A. Now let's move on to the development of B. Alright, so with the part B2, let me bring this down a bit. The part B, this is the part B. Now depending on where you are cutting, that's where you are going to start the number from. So let's assume you are cutting this way. So you are cutting this way and you are opening it up. So when 4 is going to start, 4 is going to start, then the rest of the numbers will follow. Alright, so let's do that now. Alright, so I'm going to draw a line here. Then I'll draw a vertical line here too. Right. Next, I'm giving that this distance, sorry. This distance, as in the height of the cylinder that is penetrating, is 50. So you're going to measure 50 here because you are cutting it along here and we are opening it up. Yes, my so that's it. And for the distance here, is going to be the circumference of this cylinder. Now this cylinder has a diameter of 40. So the circumference is pi d. So 40 times pi. That's 125.7. I'm going to measure 125.7. So 12. Now draw a vertical line here also. Next, I'm going to divide this length into 12 parts because we made 12 divisions here. So I'll start by drawing my acute angle. I'm going to step off 12 equal distances. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, it's going beyond the screen. Number it, you have 1, 2, 12. We're going to join the last point to this. Next, I'll draw parallel lines to this line. Let's see. I'm going to align this with the edge. Put this one also here. I'm going to move. Move. Alright, so we are done with the divisions. Alright, so with the numbering, we cut at this point. We are numbering from 4, then 3, 2, 1, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 6, 5, and back to 4. Now let's go back to this diagram. Now this 4 here is this 4 here. I'm going to pick the distance here. I'm going to stand here and inscribe an arc. So that arc becomes our point 4. Next, I'm going to stand here and open to this. Get the distance. Stand here and inscribe another arc. And that arc becomes our point 5. Next, stand here, get this distance, bring it here, and inscribe an arc. And that arc becomes our point 6. Stand here, get this distance, stand here, bring it here. And that becomes our point 7. Now if you have to continue, you end up with 4, 5, 6, 7 again. So there's no need to do it again. So we have this. Alright, next I'm going to draw lines through these points. So let's start. So you have this one going through this one. You have this one too going through. You have this going through. You have this going through. Next, you are going to draw vertical lines. Bring it here. At this point too. You have this. So now let's begin with the plotting. So now 4 here corresponds with this. Now 3 and 5 move together. So 3 and 5 goes this way. 2 and 6, 2 and 6. 1 and 7, 1 and 7. 6 and 2, 5 and 5, 4 and 4. Then we move on again. 3 and 5, 2 and 6, 1 and 7, 6 and 6, 5 and 5, and finally 4 and 4. I'm going to join the point with the smooth freehand curve. Deepen it. Then I'll take in this one too. Take this one too. I'll take in this one too. Alright, so that's what here. Finally, I'm going to draw the last thing and we are done. So I'll draw another vertical line here. Then I'm going to pick this radius, that's 20. That's 20. I'm going to stand here and inscribe an arc. And I'll stand here and draw a semicircle. At this point. I'm going to divide this one into 6 parts. So before I do that, let me draw a center line through. Alright, so we have a center line there. We stand here, mark here, and mark there, stand here, mark here, stand here, and mark at this point too. Alright, so these points are going to the center. Also going here. Right. And I'll draw another line here. Now I'm going to number it the same way I numbered this. So 1, 7 is here. 6 is here. 5 is here. 4 is also here. 4 is here. 3 is here. 2 is here. And back to 1. Now I'm going to project these lines to the top to intersect with these lines I've already drawn. So let's start. So I'm going to project 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That one. Alright, next we are going to mark the point using the same point we have here. So now 4 here coming to meet 4 over here, that will be this point. 5 here coming to meet 5, this point. 6 coming to meet 6, this point also. 1 and 7 coming to meet 7, this point. 2 is coming, but we know 2 and 6 from here are on the same plane. 2 and 6, so 2 will meet 6 over here. 3 will meet 5, then finally 4 will meet 4. I'm going to join with a smooth curve, freehand curve. I'm going to take in it. Now taking this one, taking this one too, and taking this. Alright, so this is the developed surfaces. So this is our part A as we initially numbered, and this is our part B. Alright, so that's how to develop a standing cylinder with another cylinder penetrating it. And that's it. Thank you very much. I'll see you at the next tutorial.